Yasuos. I'm looking for anything that can make a play and make something happen in the early game. Also, River, Maokai, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Unless it's against
Just,
LeBlanc.
I want more go buttons.
Right.
Well, that's the first thing that we've been kind of talking about. That's an immediate Renekton ban from 100 Thieves.
From 100 Thieves. They didn't want to first pick it, so they don't want to get pinched into
But
giving up
still
something
went
else
blue side.
strong.
What's also interesting is that, I mean, they, for the entire playoffs, have been banning the Rumble, but they've left it open. I wonder if that means that they have either A, have an option into it, or Sniper is more willing to play it. Lilia is the ban, which means Constante is open. I wonder if that just raises in priority now.
It could be a bluff that they know Bwipo doesn't really like playing the Rumble, and he's hovering it now just to, like, tempt him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, nah, you won't.
You won't do it? I like the hover.
I don't think Sniper's going to like this one. He hasn't played it the whole split.
Yeah, the
Ziggs
whole
is
split.
open.
Yeah, Ziggs is open, and also Yone is open. Those were two of FlyQuest bans in Game 1, but having switched sides, they kept the Rel ban, but then did add in the Lilia and Smolder bans for themselves. Those were actually 100 Thieves bans in the first game.
And remember, all of that Cloud9 series, it was the threat. They didn't end up banning it, but they didn't want to pick the Corki or anything like that because that was the pick that Quid was hunting, the matchup he was hunting for. So now the fact that it hasn't been banned, I wonder what Quad is willing to play, knowing that that threat is looming.
I really like FlyQuest's strategy so far with banning the Rel. By far the best support on the patch and Eyla's best champion, and then taking the Leona away from him as well, giving Busio more early game power. I think lane phase is so good for FlyQuest. Ball lane, they should always pick a good laner like this. It's so good for them.
It's the same situation they put them in Game 1. They ended up going with Bard. Their other options would have been Nautilus and Alistar, I feel like. I wouldn't be surprised if they picked Nautilus here, even if it's not a super ideal lane.
Yeah.
Sven, I want to hear from you a little bit because on the Ziggs pick, the pick we see constantly into it has been the Kaisa globally. What's your take on the matchup?
She isn't actually good against Ziggs in lane necessarily. It's like a 5-5 matchup. But once you get into the mid game, if you find Ziggs anywhere, mid wave, in a team fight on the side alone, you one-shot him.
Nice.
Take him out immediately. One W hits him, one CC spell hits him. Also, FlyQuest is a very good team at like sending it, and Kaisa enables that very well. So I think it's a good pick into it. It's like kind of like between like that or Ezreal. You don't want to pick champs like Ashe or Jhin or MF against Ziggs. Then you just get hit by Naz ulti and you get a bomb in your head and you're gone. So then the blind pick Jax is interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Bwipo just goes Cassante based on his interview that he had earlier of not trying to squeeze water out of a stone, because that's the go-to. But then also, he has been traditionally the 4-5 guy.
Yeah,
so he'd say, I'll play
guy.
literally anything against the Jax. It doesn't matter how many bans that you throw at him. And that's the direction that FlyQuest goes here, just securing their mid pick for quad, because now they can ban out 2 of Quid's counters. I imagine the Yone is going to be taken off.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what
absolutely.
else. Yeah.
That's actually really smart from FlyQuest that they can now take the Yone, maybe the Yasuo, but honestly just challenge him to play it. I think it's a great strategy. Ooh, Vi is the first one. I mean, that also...
6 Vi is a great combo.
Yeah.
Seen that one else again. Just press the R buttons and one guy disappears. No, can't play. I do think Bwipo might just link Santa if it's open in the 4-5, but he's hard to ban out because he plays all these like fine champions, Volibear, Darius, you know, you never know what hit Urgot. Not sure what's good against Jax of those, to be honest. I'm not well-versed in the top lane matchups, but I do think Bwipo will look in Santa if he has the option.
Yeah, I mean, historically, he would go towards a Greg. It's obviously received a lot of like mana nerfs since then, so it's not really that viable. Just because the idea is just to stop Jax from splitting on sides, really can't take turret in front of you and make it harder for him in team fights. So something that can fit that kind of identity.
Yeah, and it's funny, though, because we were zeroing in on Jax versus what Bwipo's going to play against it. FlyQuest and 100 Thieves are all about starving the jungle pool, knowing that the 2 junglers are unpicked right now. There's big-time bans towards River in any of his Magician champions and Sejuani and Vi trying to make ganks happen, and I think the Ivern ban is pretty smart.
Maokai is left open. There's a lot of jungle bans. I think FlyQuest should just take away the Maokai here. I don't know what River would actually up Maokai. And it appears that Inspired agrees with me.
Probably Jarvan.
Jarvan is not very good against Corki and Kaisa.
No. Yeah, actually, you're right.
Even River on Jarvan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll just fly right out of the ultimate.
I do think this is intentional by 100 Thieves. Urgot ban seems like a... Oh, of course, Amumu is still open. So this is going to be a Amumu versus Maokai matchup, I imagine.
Yeah, almost certainly. And I mean, Inspired
about the
first picking it
crying
at series. So just going towards the Amumu. And last game, I felt like him and Busio were kind of the MVP of that game, finding picks and making life really difficult for Quid. So
I think the draft Zeri Maokai here will be good for 100 Thieves, but I just don't like it because of the players they have. I don't feel like it's as good for them as for the enemy team to play like double AD carries mid versus a tank jungler with some engage. Of course, Sniper is very, very good on the Jax, so it could create like a similar 1-3-1 team comp. The two side laners are winning on the side.
Yeah.
With 6 hold the mid lane.
It is interesting that they're taking the time with this because it would seem that Maokai would have been the straightforward play, but they go Zyra instead.
I really don't like Zyra with lanes like Ziggs. You don't have enough pressure in the early game to really use Zyra's fast clear to go into a lane and just stand there and throw spells at them.
It's a tough one.
Rumble makes it through the whole draft for Bwipo to potentially pick on 5. Rumble Amumu I don't love, but they have so much physical damage with the rest of the team comp that it works. It's locked in.
Bwipo is not known to play Rumble, but it's been picked.
Yeah, so who do you like if you're just looking at the team comps here, Sven?
I think FlyQuest for sure. I think that Rumble is super OP and should never make it this far in draft, but only because both these guys don't really play it. I think Ziggs is very strong in the meta, so I have favoring Hunty's ball lane overall in terms of power picks, but FlyQuest ball lane also very comfortable playing Kaisa into it. Only thing I don't like about drafts is the Zeri Zyra. I feel like it doesn't fit Hunty's playstyle. There's too little early game fighting, too little, like, it doesn't work for them.
It doesn't seem like that
I want to see it work, but I don't think it will.
That's it for us from the lounge, though. Let's send it to the casters to get us in the game.
Jet and everyone else on the lounge, we are ready for game number 2 here. The drafts are done. FlyQuest already has a game lead here. 100 Thieves going to see if they can battle back in this second one. And it's going to be interesting. It's a very different style here for 100 Thieves. A lot of scaling, a lot of team fighting in 5v5. And the question is, can they match up to the macro game of FlyQuest and get themselves into a spot where they can actually utilize all that scaling that they picked for?
Yeah, and they're going to have to start from level 1 because we saw already 100 Thieves, dropping the kill as well as the flash on the level 1, and then Inspired on his first clear on Amumu also got the critical flash burn from mid lane too. So FlyQuest, I just felt like we're so locked in, and it felt like methodical from the very beginning of the game. 100 Thieves were always playing catch-up.
Yeah, and with this, it's another Ziggs composition for 100 Thieves. When we've seen them come out with these, they have done a pretty good job of rotating the Ziggs around. Tomo's kind of known where he wants to be as they're setting up, looking to see if Eyla pushes up.
I also kind of agree with the analyst desk when they're talking about Zyra not being the best pairing with Ziggs, as well as Zyra gameplay kind of dropped off a bit on the 14-15 nerf that came into the passive seed spawn. So we'll see how much of an impact River actually can have, because they do have a lot of scaling on their lanes and not as great looks. Meanwhile, getting invaded here.
Yeah, just looking for some early warding, and potentially can be pretty annoying sometimes. If you are Zyra, you want to stack up those early seeds, right? They can walk in, they can push you out, kill those seeds off. River, of course, is just kind of spawning them over by the Raptors, but FlyQuest is still here, looking like they want to actually full-on contest potentially for. Now we see Bwipo walking out towards topside. 100 Thieves could just lay a trap because they know that FlyQuest is still around. And River is going to try to bait this. He's going to walk out and say, yeah, engage on me. I'm vulnerable. Come try to stop me here. FlyQuest just focusing down the red buff, though. If River can actually take this, they can actually contest at the red buff. With him being level 2, we'll see if they even get the info. Now they know that it's going on. And it looks like Inspired is going to be forced to smite, so does get it, and will be able to walk it out. So not too much coming from that, really. Just a nice little invade, bit of pressure there from FlyQuest, but River can just go towards topside and keep on clearing.
I just think this is really smart from FlyQuest
he's
overall.
crossing the Raptors. He's actually going to contest at Raptors.
Yeah, he's been seen crossing over, though, so.
He has Smite, and Inspired used his Smite on red, so that's why he's doing this invade here. We do have Raz, though, standing by with an interview with Golden Glue.
What's up, guys? Got Golden Glue right next to me here. Just an overall assessment out of game 1.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, early game we got a little behind. We got killed level 1, and they got another kill on a spot lane. I think we still felt like we're kind of in control of the game. We were able to take side turret. We got 3 dragons, but they kind of stat checked us. They just had more items than us at the 3rd dragon fight. I feel pretty good. It's our first time playing on a big stage. I feel like the energy was good. We just need to have a little bit better of an early game next game.
Sounds good to me. Just talk about the composition that you built and what your goals are going into this game.
Yeah, so this game we have Ziggs, and I think that typically when we play Ziggs, we're really good at trading turrets and snowballing that way. We have also Jax versus Rumble, so we'll be looking to split push there. But that's kind of the basics. Yeah.
Sounds good. Appreciate you. Going straight back to the casters. Thank you, guys.
Be interesting. I mean, if they can get Sniper into a good spot, Ziggs obviously can assist that split push in the 1v1s. You have that semi-global of the ultimate, throwing that out to side lanes, have a really strong 5v5 as well. Of course, a lot of AoE on both sides, honestly. We look over at Amumu. Sniper getting the push in, took a decent trade, but a tower shot on the back end of that does mean that he will be down on HP.
Yeah, and you saw River there was a little bit of a ping that went out to see maybe if he potentially hadn't taken that turret shot, he might have looked for something, as he's just now going to clear out the top side crab, and we have Inspired taking the bottom crab.
And our bottom lane of FlyQuest has been such a big story for this team. Once again, they have a strong pushing matchup here. They were able to take the Leona very early in Champion Select yet again. Busio had an excellent game last game. Massu really getting a lot of extra money early on and controlling the map. So we will see about that bot side focus, because both junglers, after their fight, know that each other cleared their top quadrants and will be ending up back down this area. So we will see them look for the extra vision to kind of protect the push.
And we see, I'm most curious, again, as we see River headed down here, to see if he's going to try to set up for a play onto bot side, but he is going to get spotted out.
Is spotted. The hook does connect there onto Busio, and Inspired's coming over for the counter gank. Busio going to look for the re-engage here onto River. River flashes out, but the ignite is there, and first blood goes to Massu. The counter gank from Inspired coming up huge, and they're going to look for even more. It's a double kill, could even be a triple. The Zenith Blade goes through. Tomo is going to get knocked down. 3 early kills for the Canadian bot laner.
And again, I want to point out how FlyQuest are kind of controlling this. They had the ward already placed in Tribrush, and they had a Scuttle Crab. They had fully complete vision control, and they knew this is the area of the map that both junglers are ending up on. So Inspired comes down for a counter gank. Look at Inspired. As soon as he finishes his clear, he's walking down now. So River goes over. Busio's like, great, they're going to engage on me. Puts up his shield on Leona, and immediately the counter engage. Zenith into Q stun, and from that point, even though you flash, you know you're dead. The follow through from Massu is big. FlyQuest again, bottom lane advantage.
And coming out of this, guess what? Kaisa now has 3 kills. She's in such a great spot for FlyQuest going forward.
Fight on the top side as Bwipo with that last pick rumble rarely makes it through, but here is the timeline from Massu. He has just had a meteoric rise. It was 2017 and 2022, joined Amateur about halfway through the year. In 2023, he was on Fly Challengers team, won most valuable prospect in the NACL, then gets into the LCS, makes it to MSI, wins Rookie of the Year. He's going to Worlds. He's in the running to win a title. It was second in All-Pro, I believe, so pretty incredible rise that he has had these last couple of years.
Yep, and I mean, I think the biggest thing is we might see a
Sniper's collapsing, and Inspired has no flash. They may have caught him out. The follow-up, the Rumble Equalizer comes through, and they're trying to turn it around on a Sniper. He's got to flash out, and Bwipo, it's an Electro Harpoon to the heart. Shuts down Sniper.
Oh, Quad's not done.
Yeah, Quad and Quid going at it. Quid's going to be chasing after Quad here on the Zeri, trying to finish him off with his zap flashes forward. The side steps are not enough. Quad gets taken down. It's a solo kill for Quid, and some much-needed momentum there for 100 Thieves.
Quid coming up really big on that. Also, shout out to you, Azael, for doing the Quid quad immediately.
Thank you.
Amazing. But yeah, that is like a glimmer of hope for 100 Thieves, and we heard it from Golden Glue, right? We need to get our carries in a good position where they do have gold for these fights. He felt like that Drake fight was where they lost it actually in the first game, even though they did have a shaky early game. So having Quid get that early kill is huge.
And it is purely on the Corki moving up to actually start that one out. So we'll take a look here. Know that Inspired uses his smite on this grub, and he does not have flash, so they want to chase him down, but it's so nice to be able to kite up to a rumble. The ulti can come down from so far away that then the Amumu, oh no, I'm caught, can actually just turn it around and CC you on the ultimate. So it was a nice little bit of a bait there from FlyQuest after stealing away the objective, but then Quad wanted a little bit more, and so Quad actually starts it out by going Foss Bomb over the side of the grubs, and then his flash there, even though he dodges one of those Qs from Quid, it is not enough. Quid with the chase, flashing forward, has the confidence, and actually gets the kill back for 100 Thieves, and he's the only one with any sort of gold lead on the side of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and it's off of that kill. Otherwise, FlyQuest have themselves out to a neat like 1.5. As we
Bwipo gonna be taking down Sniper. In comes the extra man, but it's Sniper with the solo bolo in the 1v2. Takes out Bwipo.
The 1v2. Sniper might not play Rumble, but he does kill the Rumbles. Let's take a look at the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's a re-engage here on the bot side. The Ziggs ulti's going to be a swing and a miss, but in comes Massu with the killer instinct, and he is right on target. Tomo knocking back Inspired, trying to finish him off. He is low, but it's a good sidestep. In comes Quid. It's another kill for him, and it could be many more. Quad is gone. Masu's got a flash out of there. He's back to the turret. It doesn't look like he can set up for a redive, but 100 Thieves find the early skirmishes and are coming out on top in some of them, but Massu, 5 kills on the other side.
Yeah, and Quid now 2-0-1. Sniper able to get that kill on top side as well. We talked again, you want to get these nice gank throw from 100 Thieves. Sniper going back and forth. We've seen him talking a little bit more trash going forward, but as we take another look at this, Sniper is actually on a ward, and Bwipo is waiting for Busio to come up here, but yeah, he's just able to get the stun down and then finishes off Bwipo and lives. Grayson's really happy about that one.
Pumped for him, and that's the classic. You know, you're not going to win by running away. You got to fight your way out. Sniper knows. He immediately channels his Counter-Strike, hit his ultimate.
Here. He's overheated, but it does slow him down with the equalizer, so we'll be fine.
And Bwipo not escaping the Renekton allegations here. Renekton merchant is not really...
It's not a crocodile.
They see us, though, towards the Rumble. Of course, you got that constantly pushing, constantly working towards your CS. And now he also has his jungler up here. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of a chunk on Sniper, who still doesn't have Flash. So Inspired was kind of looking for the extended river play.
Engage here. Nice disengage, though, from Eyla as he answers his Zenith Blade with a hook of his own. And Quad and Quid, it's just a 2v2 mid with backup 80 carries.
Exactly. That had a lot of extra threat because Massu had hovered over on the Kaisa. You see him now walking all the way back to bottom lane, but both of the bot lane carries for these teams can make mid lane ganks by like hovering halfway up to the mid lane. And so you really have to respect when the enemy bot laner's not showing. Meanwhile, we've got a double gank
Flash
here.
on Bwipo. We could be in trouble here. Eyla does have the ultimate available. Inspired trying to come in, as is Busio, so he's just got to buy time. There's the depth charge coming through. Inspired flashes in. It's a 3-man ulti, but the Counter-Strike is there. Bwipo's stunned up, and he's going to get burst down. Quid arrives, and Quid can be the difference maker here. It's going to be another kill for him. A killing spree for the 100 Thieves mid laner.
Quid is the hope. You thought it was going to be all about Quid and Quad, but it's Quid versus Massu in this game. The two fed carries.
Yeah, and this should set up a grub take. They will be able to get at least 4 off of this. And maybe River is really low. But these grubs with the Ziggs is so huge, right? Like, they're not going to be able to get the full 6, but they will get up to the 4. And now we see Ziggs in mid. This is going to be the big thing, is where they put the Ziggs to get those early tier 1 turrets down and make the most of this chaotic early game that they really wanted to have.
Exactly. The Ziggs to open up the map and the Jax to split push for later. Jax loves when you can get that grub buff. Sniper already pulling out 2v1 plays, already starting to feel really confident in this game. If they also have the Void Might spawn for him when he does get into the split pushing gameplay, does start to get some items and really scale, that can be a way for 100 Thieves to pressure the rest of the map.
And Sniper has talked about how he's been leveling up his macro game. Spawn, the coach of TL, giving him a lot of credit in that last series about how he was able to play these lane swaps. That's something that Sniper talked about when he was having to learn these. He said, so frustrating. It's so different from your experience that you get in solo queue, where you rise to the ranks, you get to the top, and then maybe you can get in the LCS. It's something that you have to learn that's totally new. And a lot of these players he's playing against, guys like Impact and Bwipo, have been doing it forever.
And you don't learn the 2v1 kill. That's something you're bored with. That's a Sniper special. But we're going to look at him actually calling Eyla.
They're going to flash forward. Inspired's here again, and the equalizer comes down. TP coming in from the other side. Ayla's going to be dead for sure. The question is, can Sniper get out? Looks like he can. again. That was a TP from Massu. Remember, this is a 6-teleport game. People are going to be coming in from all sides, and now Quad, he's on the run, but Tomo's hot on his heels. He's going to try to turn and fight his way out, but he can't do it. It's a rampage for Quid.
And it's another kill for Quid. He is becoming so dangerous, but on this bot side, I really love how well Inspired has been able to respond to a lot of these plays. We see it here. They are going to get this Drake stacking started for their side. It is a little late first Drake kill for them, but it is kind of like you said, Kobe. Quid 4-0-2, Massu 5-0-0. These are the two carries on either side that we're looking for in team fights.
And after that bot side play, I also was looking and expecting Bwipo to get in the all chat and also say nice gank, but he did not. Some extra restraint there after they had their counter gank. Meanwhile, it was Quid in the brush, getting the surprise.
Yeah,
flanking Zeri, the one you never expect.
Yeah, you never expect her coming in. He flashes out, but then, yeah, Tomo is here as well on that TP Ziggs. Make sure that he is, they'll be able to clean this up. And Quad is he's been having a rough game in this game too.
And I would really credit 100 Thieves with punishing side lanes. This is something they're going to have to keep up with this composition, as we mentioned a couple of times here. There we go. There's the all chat I'm looking for. There we go.
I gave you freebie and you bring all the homies.
It's never a fair fight. That's the first thing you learn about top lane.
100 Thieves, though, getting right back to the focus on taking down towers, on opening up the map so they can really split push. Rift Herald goes a long way in doing that. A lot of times, mid lane can be very difficult to take down, but if you have Ziggs and a Rift Herald, that is a recipe for mid lane destruction. And they should be able to get that one. We're actually seeing Ziggs kind of half rotate down to bottom lane too. Ziggs bomb could come down to clear out the wave.
Is staying around. There is that Ziggs bomb you were talking about, but it looks like they want to go for the dive potentially anyway. They're going to start out with the ultimates getting layered over, and Sniper's got no chance at all. Great start there from Inspired. Didn't go with the bandage toss, just lets it rip on the ulti, so there's no chance for Sniper to react.
Yeah, and Quid will TP in, as well as Eyla rotating in here, but they're not going to be able to get anything back.
We'll see.
Unless, Eyla looks like he kind of wants to go for something on Bwipo.
And the top side is going to be a Hex Flash. Not going to be able to find it. River is just holding the top lane right now on the Zyra, just vacuuming up the farm up there. You can see he has a good 30 CS advantage or so above Inspired right now. Needs to be power farming and is doing a good job of it on the Zyra.
Yeah, meanwhile, Massu with all the money, looking at inventory, of course, he is going the heavy poke build here with the Ludens completed already. Looking at the transformation for Muramana pretty quick into this game, honestly, with how fed he got and how early he got accelerated on his build. So there is going to be a ton of magic damage on the side of FlyQuest, and both teams are investing so heavily into Merc Treads. The majority of every single player in the game going for those, aside from the Sork shoes.
And with the extra Amp Tome, Massu already has the Evolved W, so he's going to be really annoying. You have got to dodge those Ws or they just never stop.
Yeah, and as we see, Quid taking down that first turret tier 1 on bot side. I am really curious to see how 100 Thieves are going to set this up with their lane assignments. To your point, Kobe, trying to get that mid-tier 1 down with the Herald, with the Ziggs. But the big thing about this composition is having Jax and Zeri in your side lanes to be able to split push.
Absolutely, and one thing I will say that's a concern for FlyQuest is later on, as Jax gets a couple items, gets some MR in there,
He's
going to be tough to actually deal with. There's potential for the 1v2s in the later stages of the game, as Rumble and Amumu are very much so about the upfront damage. And if you can't burst down the Jax, if he has a full MR item, he could turn around those fights.
Yeah, especially that early MR, if Quad continues to have a rough game on the Corki and is going to be a bit delayed, like that is the source of attack damage that FlyQuest are relying on to try and keep 100 Thieves a little bit honest there.
Yeah, nice bit of poke there coming through from Quad onto River. He's put down to about a third health, so he's going to have to play it safe now. Massu just constantly poking. Inspired and Busio area here are sharking around, and Eyla's going to be sent back to base. I mean, these Ws are just hurting so much from Massu. He already forced Tomo out off screen earlier.
Yeah, you can tell FlyQuest do not want to play too much on side lanes. They're trying to group up to use the threat of Leona and Amumu engage with all of their poke around, and then see if you can get an engage onto anybody who actually got tagged. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves actually did a pretty good job spreading all 3 lanes there. They were able to get the push on bottom lane. You see a couple minions even dying to the tower now because Sniper was able to fully push out while FlyQuest were attempting their mid lane play. And every little bit does count when you try and push those out, because otherwise FlyQuest, with their gold lead, you know what their game plan is. They're just trying to try and force you into the 5-on-5 with their double carries, honestly triple carries, and then very strong engage. So they want those team fights where they can poke you down and then go for their hard engage.
And something else we can talk about a little bit is just how well I think on the Ziggs against Cloud9. It was such a strong neutralizing pick for them. And he's in a situation where they need some extreme neutralization on Massu. They need to keep him shut down, keep that wave clear going, try to limit his involvement in the fight. Because right now for 100 Thieves, they want to fight everywhere that Massu is not.
As we see them setting up with this Rift Herald push.
We'll see. They are just threatening on the side here. If Sniper shows, maybe they'll actually look for it. They have actually spotted him with the sweeper over the wall, so looking for an engage on him. Not going to connect. River just landing a little bit of poke and will back off. You can see those plants getting burned down pretty quickly. Quad takes probably more damage than he should have. Not really worth stepping up to actually kill off those plants because he did lose about 20% of his health to do it. We can see Bwipo heading up towards topside, wants to get that wave moving in their favor. Does have his teleport available, so he can, of course, join. But a lot of it's going to be about the poke here. Sniper going forward. The blast cone used defensively by Quad as 100 Thieves start up the Dragon.
Yeah, and this should give them Drake control. The FlyQuest are looking like they want to contest. Busio is going in there.
They're teleporting. They're going for it.
Teleport's coming in. They're going to try to get in there. It's already secured by 100 Thieves. Eyla's in some trouble. The Ziggs bomb in the back line gets Massu and Quad low as Inspired drops the ulti. The equalizer across multiple members. Quid stands, fires, but he does fall in the end. Massu with the killer instinct going forward. Tomo is zooming. He's got to run. They sidestep the Void Seeker there. Barely able to stay alive here as it's a bit of a bloody fight. 100 Thieves do come out with the Dragon.
And even though FlyQuest are coming out with blinking health bars and they did give up that Drake, the big thing for me is Busio recognizing, again, when he can get in on the back of this pit, and then when Bwipo is able to get the equalizer coming out as he's coming around on the flank right here, right? It clips Quid, and then he just burns down. That is the person you absolutely have to eliminate in these fights. Take him out, and then Massu going in, trying to see if there's anything he can clean up on the very end of it.
Yeah, that was huge because not only had Quid just used his jump, but then he had to flash afterwards. So you killed Quid, you got the big bounty, and you got the flash off of Zeri. Probably the single most important flash for you to burn, really, really cementing this lead for FlyQuest. Yes, they didn't actually get the Dragon, which would have helped them accelerate and continue to stack and actually pull 100 Thieves to the team fight that you want. But honestly, with the gold lead and with the Summoner spell advantage now, I think they'll be content.
Yep, going to be feeling pretty good about it. Credit also to Busio. As soon as that equalizer came in, he flashed over the Dragon Wall, immediately stuns Quid in that. And you can see Quid goes back to base, says, didn't like that, I'm going to buy a QSS. He's going to be able to pick that up, but without the flash, as you say, it might not be enough. You can get out of the CC, can't get out of that damage.
It's been something that FlyQuest have been so consistent with in their team fighting, is calling the biggest carry on the enemy team and full sending to shut them down. Bwipo and Busio there really combining for some big ones, but now
yeah, it might be a fight here as Bwipo wraps around on Eyla. TP's coming in from the Jax. The equalizer's drop, but it's not a great one. And the Ziggs bomb lights him up, and Sniper just dunks him. He wants more. He's going to be chasing after Inspired. Quad and Massu, though, have 100 Thieves in a shooting gallery here. A lot of damage put down on a Tomo. Quid looking for the laser. Not going to slow up Quad. Will be the disengage. How much more can they get? They're walking over towards the Baron. This would be a risky start, though, so it's just going to be a clear on the vision here and a disengage, but 100 Thieves have got to be happy with that fight.
Yeah, getting some money really big, getting a shutdown for themselves. The problem is the two poke champs lived, so you can almost never go into the Baron pit, because then you're just going to get bombarded with poke, and you just have to stick to your game plan of playing the wide map for 100 Thieves.
And this is even Horizon Focus now done for Massu, so he's really just going full on into the poke.
Yeah, and I think they weren't even able, it looked like they were like, maybe we can rotate up, take tier 1. They're actually not able to get that for the reason that you already called out, because there's still, even though Quad was set behind, he now is in a much better spot. He'll be even better once he locks in that third item. But he's back in, and the Corki poke, as we saw, still hurts.
Definitely does. Massu with the 3-item power spike as well, just throwing out Void Seeker after Void Seeker. You even see Tomo picking up the Verdant Barrier for that spell shield just to block one of them and try and give them a little bit of extra time to find their fight. Is going to be difficult for 100 Thieves because they're a little behind on their game plan. They would love to already have all of the outers down, of course, but they still do have Ziggs and, you know, if
starting the Baron. Maybe getting a little bit antsy here. Ayla and Tomo are showing and saying, hey, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything.
Bwipo no teleport.
They're not
still.
actually committing the Zyra ultimate just yet, so it is going down kind of slow. Inspired has no flash, but he gets the information. The Baron is going to reset. 100 Thieves will have to back it up.
I think that was really smart. Bwipo had a few more seconds on his teleport, so they're trying to squeeze out some, you know, little bit of extra advantage. Maybe a summoner spell here or there. Maybe any little bit of cooldown they could use, but still chased off fully by FlyQuest, and FlyQuest don't actually lose anything in the process.
Yeah, and I think that is a big thing from, I'm curious as to why 100 Thieves, even though like they didn't lose much from it, right? As to why they thought they might be able to go for that, because I feel like they're still in a pretty good position despite being behind.
Could just be, hey, we have Zyra. If they're ignoring this, if they're a little lax on their vision, we start it up, we commit to it with the ult, maybe we can burn that down.
Yeah, you've got Zyra and a Nautilus, so pretty good if people are forced to come face check you. Double scryers are available for both teams, so neither team right now should fall prey to the face check.
I mean, there's a lot of poke in this game, and it is going to be an Infernal Soul game here, potentially.
And I think as we see Bwipo pushing in that top wave as well, when he was just a sliver of TP waiting left to get his TP back up, he'd already pushed down the bot side. So they're actually, FlyQuest are doing a good job of making sure that they do push up these side waves when they can, and that will stymie the split push threat that 100 Thieves wants to go for.
Yeah, FlyQuest doing a good job just making 100 Thieves uncomfortable. Now they can poke them while 100 Thieves are forced.
Oh, that was close. The root almost connected there. Tomo, though, going to be forced to flash by Busio, and now Tomo's kind of trapped in the pit. They can go forward here. The equalizers drop down. Nice disengage from Eyla on the side. Inspired is getting burst out by Quid. Quid claims the first kill. Eyla with beautiful peel. The Ziggs ult into the back line. Lights him up. Can Sniper knock him down? There's something flashing in. He's going to get quad. No, he pulls back. He didn't commit to it. He gets burned up here by Bwipo. Low health bears on both sides. Tomo trying to finish off the dragon. River's getting poked down. 100 Thieves do claim the dragon. And now the hook onto Bwipo, but there's no damage to follow it up. The poke is coming through from Massu non-stop. Ayla's in trouble here. Eyla is down. They do get a kill back. Eyla dies, but so does Busio. Quid trying to run out of here. Bwipo looking like he's going to go for it. River over the wall. Massu flashes in. He gets one, but he gives his life for it, and now Quid just needs to buy time. He needs to wait for Tomo to get down here. If they could get this bounty off of Bwipo, that'd be massive, but it's a teleport. It's a teleport from Quad, and Quid has nowhere to go. Quad gets the kill. It's a bloody affair by the Dragon. 29 kills in this game. We're only 26 minutes in.
Oh, I thought Quid was going to use the long wall of the alcove there to go for an escape, but he doesn't. He ends up going down. This started out so good for FlyQuest, jumping on the poke composition because they see Inspired, so they immediately attack on that side. But then here, the chase.
Yeah, and Sniper goes in.
That last auto was canceled.
He's so close, and then Bwipo is able to come in at Sniper.
His last auto was canceled. I saw it in the air there.
Which is such big knockdown effects. If he doesn't die, which allows him to TP back into that fight, which saves Bwipo and gets a kill on Quid. If Quad dies there, Bwipo might have died in the extended play also, so that's a huge one. Equalizer was dropped on Tomo. We're back to live. He's chunked out, but it's no angle for a kill.
Wow, that was so close. He had the full play just mapped out. He was like, okay, one more auto that kills, and then jump out.
Oh, the hook just tags him on the end of it. Bwipo's down low. Sniper's coming in on the angle here from behind, but he can't really do it. Everyone is there from FlyQuest. Quid, he goes forward. He QSS's, but he's locked up on the backside. Sniper's burst down. Quad goes forward. He gets the kill, but he pays for it with his life. And now Massu into the back line, trying to finish him off. Nice passive route there from Eyla. Keeps River alive. Tomo can't quite get the kill. The poke on both sides is so deadly. There's so many carries. It is such a knife's edge in this game.
I also love how aggressive both teams have been willing to get, but the big thing coming out of this for me is 7-1-4 on Massu, and then also Inspired. Inspired has done such a good job of setting up a lot of these as Eyla goes in, lands the hook onto Bwipo, they soak up the Ziggs ult, Zyra ult, watch Sniper on the backside, but Inspired right here.
Yeah, uses his ultimate, so they're going to get the 1-for-1 Sniper for him, and then the double jump in. Both Quid and Quad jumped into that. Both of them go down, and it's Massu who cleans everything up. The killer instinct allows him to get these extra little chase kills. FlyQuest getting the extra little bit each time.
It's NA talent, Massu and Sniper, both of these guys are really showing up big contenders for Rookie
Canadian
of the
talent.
Year.
Yeah, also both Canadian, Azael.
Might make me a little bit extra of a fan for them, but
Got a soft spot here.
oh, some good Canadian boys there representing well. He was the runaway favorite in spring for Rookie of the Year, but Massu was so consistent through the entire year, was incredible in summer, and that really put him in the favor. Inspired here on the side, has no flash, but does have the ulti back here. Dragon not up for 145, but both teams know if someone gets caught, they are just going to get deleted. There are not a lot of tanky members in this game whatsoever, and that's why it's kind of interesting that you can look over at Bwipo's build. He went Riftmaker into Jaxo after the Leandries, so kind of going for this more like drain tanky build, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, because there is so much damage flying around, and you know, another one of the NA talent players that wasn't on that graphic, but Tomo, the Ziggs, has actually got a lot of poke damage down himself for the side of 100 Thieves, and so much AoE control here that he's been able to move up with his spell shield, constantly throw out these bombs, and actually force chunks back the other way.
Well, I think one of the big problems here is Sniper, he's been grouping so much, it feels like he's way over grouping. You know, he only has 169 CS at 29 minutes in the game. He's down over 3,000 gold. That's basically the entire gold gap, but in the entire team. He's never going to be a threat in the side lanes, which is pushing him even more to just keep grouping, and I think that is just making the problem that much bigger.
And you also see when they group, like they want to get this tier 1 turret down, right? They want to get the Ziggs in range to try to get through it, but FlyQuest have done such a good job of making sure that they're on the flank, so it's really difficult for 100 Thieves to push up confidently without worrying, oh, is, you know, Bwipo going to be here? Is Busio going to be here? Is Inspired going to be here on our flank?
Yeah, I know sometimes as a top laner, you're like, oh man, my team is going to get caught because enemy has Leona and Rumble and Amumu, but you have to trust your team sometimes. They do have the QSS for Quid with his upgraded Mercurial Scimitar, and they do have the spell shield on Tomo, who's been pretty good, but let's see if they can do it.
Busio's behind him. Tomo could be in trouble. They're actually going to look for the engage. Tomo immediately goes into stage. The equalizer is dropped. Doesn't get a lot done here. River is running on the side. Quid is there to try to back them up, but it's Tomo who's going to be going down. It's Tomo that's in trouble, and now Sniper is caught as well. Quid's got to turn something around on the other side. He looks for Quad. He can't burst him down. Quad survives. FlyQuest went out in the fight. It's a 2-for-0 by Baron.
And it's a double kill for Bwipo. Widest of rumbles I've ever seen. The gold lead on Bwipo continues to grow. They're going to melt down this Baron while Quid tries to get something back. They get a mid lane tower, but he gets teleported on too, so Baron will get picked up, and they'll pick up.
Yeah, he's on the wrong side of the map now.
I think he's going to be probably dead here. We'll see. He's going to try to TP out to safety. Can Leona get in range to actually interrupt it?
What?
Not going to be able to. Nice escape there from Quid, and a critical one. Can't have him going down to the stage, but it's nearing a 6,000 gold lead at this point for FlyQuest. It feels like they have been able to take over off of that one.
Yep, they'll get the Baron, they'll get an easy setup on this Drake, and then the big thing here, like you pointed out, Azael, earlier, look at where Sniper is in this total
He's in support territory.
And then look at where Bwipo is, right? The only two people who have less gold than Sniper are Busio and Eyla. As we see the setup for this fight, Quad going right in onto River. River has to burn the Zyra ultimate down here. And then Tomo is completely zoned out of this fight by Bwipo.
This is what 100 Thieves have been worried about the majority of the time, because this was the 5-person play from FlyQuest that actually traps you while you're trying to split push.
Yep.
Yeah.
100 Thieves were trying to have their Zeri and their Jack split push at this moment, so you know Sniper can make up some of this 3-level deficit and actually try and get some control on the map. But FlyQuest, they just force so hard grouping on mid and actually get the punish this time around. Now with Baron, it makes it very easy for you to continue to push in for the side of FlyQuest. Their range poke is extremely, extremely strong, and Let's see them. If they can continue to get the secondary towers here, they'll just grow the gold lead and make it even more difficult for 100 Thieves to find their way back in.
Yeah, and as we see them setting up in mid, and Quad is going to end up pushing in this top side wave, I really do have to give credit to where they have been able to put. Going down to Eyla.
Not going to be able to quite connect with that ulti from the Leona. Those Kaisa Ws are hurting so much. It is now a death cap completed. The Void Seekers deal 700 damage, and it's a 2-second cooldown if you do connect. There is the depth charge thrown down, but they can't follow up. Eyla's just too damn low. They're trying to buy time. They're trying to clear out these waves, but they're really struggling to do so, and no one can answer Bwipo in the mid lane. Eyla's got to run here as he is down so low on health.
Yeah, and credit to FlyQuest, again, right out of both of their Baron takes, first in Game 1, and now thus far in Game 2, they've done a really good job of setting up so they can immediately make the most of the Baron, again, rotating to Drake, getting his turrets down. Now we already see Bwipo pushing on the bot side onto that tier 2. They've done such a good job of putting Bwipo in these side lanes earlier than this, but like again, this is just such a great rotation from FlyQuest as they're now pushing on this tier 2.
And that is really the experience at work here for Bwipo. He's been in so many of these big situations, been in so many finals, including the World Finals. He knows how to make it work for him. He's now 4 items completed, plus the boots. Sniper still just working towards his third. Over 5,000 gold behind in that matchup. The Jax has just really not paid off in the mid and late game.
And then if you look over at the other parts of the FlyQuest comp that were kept behind early, namely the Corki, that is not even behind anymore.
Nope.
You have your poke. You know, he is doing his job regardless of the rocky origins of it. Him and Massu, mainly Massu, but both of them handing out that poke so heavily that 100 Thieves, you have to think that 100 Thieves are going to have to do a desperate engage now. They're actually River with his classic yawning Tomo being thrown up, but they know like the next play is going to have to be a very quick play from them. You just kind of throw it at any sort of engage angle that you actually get, anything that FlyQuest handed to you, because otherwise you get completely poked out and you're not going to have a chance. You saw Eyla just soaking up W after W from Kaisa and getting pushed out of the play completely.
You know, I touched on the difference in experience between Sniper and Bwipo. These are both very young teams because they are having that average really pulled down by some of these super young players. But when you look at the average age, you're saying, oh, so they probably played a similar amount of games. Now we go to the next one. This is how many games they have played. Compare Bwipo versus Sniper. It is night and day. About 8 times as many professional games played here. A very stark difference. Of course, River has a lot of pro games himself as well, but really is just that massive amount of experience between Inspired and Bwipo.
Yeah, and I think it's paying off in, again, as you see them playing the map, right? Like, one of the reasons why Sniper is struggling is because they haven't been able to get him in side lanes to try to soak up those waves. Whereas Bwipo has been almost perma-pushing one of the 2 long lanes on either side of the map, and that is one of the reasons why he's so rich.
At least for 100 Thieves side, you know, they have gone really deep in this game. We are almost to 36 minutes already because 100 Thieves got their early dragons, and that kind of puts off the really big timer that FlyQuest could put on them. So they are not going to get drawn over to the dragon. I would say 0% chance they actually fight that. Worry more about the Baron half of the map.
Yeah, you can see Massu just being so annoying. He's always trying to play from fog, try to deny vision. You see him sitting on pinks constantly in this last 10 minutes, just firing at the Void Seekers. Like, look at that. That's 2 Void Seekers, about 80% of his health. All of the W, it's 3 stacks of plasma. When you hit back-to-back, you proc the plasma, plus the 700 base damage, plus the proc damage from the items. You're doing about 2 to 3K in 2 back-to-back hits. It's crazy.
We need a more painful term than poke for this. Because
Stab?
Because that's
impale. You just got hit by a spear. Quid in trouble. Gonna have to run away here as 100 Thieves do get pushed back. FlyQuest want to keep pressing the issue. They're gonna keep chasing. That one tags onto Tomo. Quid has got to try to dodge this. He's healing up off the Gromp, but Quad is gonna look. The Equalizer's gonna get dropped. Eyla trying to run. Busio's going in. Quid QSS, but it's Massu in the back line with the killer instinct. Takes him down. Bwipo's coming in from behind, and he is gonna roast 100 Thieves alive. Just like that, a back and forth game may have ended. Bwipo gets a double. It's only Eyla alive. It's a 1v4 to try to hold on to this game, but it's not gonna happen. FlyQuest up the tower. Here comes the wave.
Absolutely beautiful setup for that team fight from FlyQuest. From the equalizer going down, everyone knew their position in that fight, and now they're going to close out the game.
It's David versus Goliath, but David ain't winning this one. FlyQuest land a knockout punch in the team fight, and they're going to bring us to match point.
What are 100 Thieves going to do about this FlyQuest bottom lane? This FlyQuest bottom lane is running the series.
Yeah, and I mean, this was a composition that we talked about. Like, they really like to play, right? They want to set up in side lanes. Tomo has looked really good on the Ziggs. That was one of the hallmarks of their C9 win. They weren't actually able to pressure the map as early as they'd want. And then this guy, Bwipo, right here, like you said, the widest rumble, beating the Renekton one-trick allegation, soaking up every side wave for FlyQuest.
And I've got to say, 100 Thieves look a lot better in the early stages of this game compared to one. Even though Massu got so many kills, they were finding a lot of hits of their own. They got Quid into a really good spot where he was very strong. You know, top side, a lot of the skirmishes around there were looking very good. They were coordinated on those plays, but you could really see the difference in the map play from FlyQuest. That experience really shone through, and we're going to find out now what the Lounge has to say